Alright guys, since you guys got me hooked on reviewing now, I've decided to go ahead and review some things that I have lying around the house that I have some strong opinions of, since I can't go out and buy comic books all too much, nor can I go out and see movies all too much, because I just don't have the money for that. Sorry. Sorry if you guys want stuff that's new, but I don't have the money for that. What I did do, however, is choose one of my favorite books that I own. It's no secret that I am a very, very big Batman Beyond fan. In fact, I go as far as saying that Terry McGinnis is my favorite Batman, almost by far. I really like Terry as an individual and the dynamics that he shares with the characters within his own universe. And I don't really want to get on why I like Batman Beyond, because I may do a series of episodes on seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Batman Beyond. But that's coming later. What I want to review right now is Batman Beyond. Just a little bit of synopsis, that's the word I was looking for, of 10,000 Clowns. 10,000 Clowns chronologically takes place after the series and after Return of the Joker. It also chronologically takes place after Beyond Hush, which I have not gotten the opportunity to read. So if I'm missing stuff from Hush Beyond that are touched upon in 10,000 Clowns that you know about, that's why. But getting into more of the story is that we have Jokers from all over the world collecting up inside of Gotham, and nobody really knows why. And in the meantime, Terry and Bruce have been keeping their eyes on the Jokers, but they have been kind of fretting them lately, because the Jokers have never really at this point proven that they're a big problem. If you don't know what the Jokers are a gang that have gotten together after the death of the Joker, and in his name have decided to cause anarchy and just all around a criminal spree, all in the Joker's name. Most of them are just young punks who are acting out. Some of them are really hardcore. And they never really gathered in force and acted together. So they start off with suspicion right away. Meanwhile, in Terry McGinnis' personal life, he is, of course, having problems with Dana. And Dana's brother, long-lost brother, who was in jail, or prison, excuse me, meets Terry for the first time. And we find out through just exposition that it ends up that Douglas, who is Dana's brother, has been in prison before. Not only has he been in prison before, but he has been in prison for being associated with the Jokers. So they kind of drop hints to you right away that this is going to be something big. I'm not going to give away the whole book in my opinion of it. I'm going to probably end up giving it away during the notes, so sorry about that, but it's the same general idea as the Godzilla review. Just giving you my opinion on the book overall. The opinion on the book overall is that it's very good. It's a lot of fun. It's just like an episode of Batman Beyond put into book form, which is great, because I love Batman Beyond. I love the humor throughout the entire title, the seriousness that comes after, the dynamics between the various characters, some of the new characters that I wasn't familiar with that they had introduced through the series after the book. It all just works, in my opinion. The art is very good. The storytelling is, of course, fantastic. The art could have been better, but whatever. Art's not that big of a deal for me sometimes. So let's just start into the notes. My first discrepancy I really had was when Bruce was talking with Commissioner Gordon. Of course, Commissioner Gordon is Barbara Gordon, remember. Talking about how the Jokers were starting to become a problem, and there was a lot of them. And he said he's gonna have to do his least favorite option, which is wait it out and see what happens. You're telling me Batman, especially this version of Batman, which is old Bruce, who's so completely dedicated to the mission that he's pushed everybody away, that the plan master hasn't come up with a plan just in case a lot of the people attacked Gotham at once, like a massive gang revolt. He hasn't encountered that at all before? At all? Just some history on Batman Beyond. Theoretically, it starts when Bruce was 25, like he did in Zero Year, because the way New 52 has set it all up is that Beyond is going to be the future of that universe. Terry is going to become Batman. All the events of Batman Beyond are going to happen. So by the time that Bruce stops the whole Never Again scenario, we're led to believe that he's about 75 to 77 years old. He started when he was 25. So that means 50 to 52 years of being Batman. And he hasn't once run into like a gang riot. I mean, sure, 10,000 people. That's a lot. But I mean, come on. He had to have something in place, right? He wouldn't just wait it out. Seems like something Batman would never say, and it kind of just got to me. Another gripe I had right away. Seems like I have a lot of gripes, but trust me, I really did like this book. Dana's a terrible character. Data Tan's a terrible character. She doesn't do anything for the story other than be the girlfriend who can't tolerate Terry's bullcrap. And she's such a bad character. Like, in Batman Beyond, it still irks me immensely that Terry turned down 10, who obviously loved him for all that he was. And I mean, sure, he isn't telling Dana everything, but I don't like Dana Tan, and I never have. And I probably never will, because I was told this book would be a redemption for her, and it wasn't. It wasn't. Not the first, second, third, fourth, or this even final read-through. Not a final read-through, but you know what I mean. When it came down to it, were we all really surprised that it was Douglas, Dana's brother, who was the Joker King? Were we actually surprised by that? Or did we just kind of know it, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, we all know, you already know. It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise like learning who Hush was in the original storyline, or even in Hush Beyond. Those were cool surprises. This wasn't. It didn't work. There's a small part just before we get to the Mad Stan storyline, or the side story, rather, where there's a Joker who's dressed up almost exactly like Nigma. And while that reference is appreciated because there is no real Edward Nigma or someone like him in the Beyond universe, unless it's a legacy rogue, I really don't care. You can reference him through form or function or name, but unless you're bringing another Riddler into the Batman Beyond universe, you might as well just not reference him at all, because that's just teasing me, and that's not fair, man. Don't tease me like that. Mad Stan's side story may be the best part of the comic. Mad Stan's an awesome character. I love Mad Stan, and the way that they set him up as kind of like the joke villain, but he's still a very big, serious threat, is great. And they just kept with it in this book, and it worked. It was awesome. They even gave him a little dog named Boom Boom, whose romance between the two may be better than Dana and Terry's. I really liked the Mad Stan approach, and it complements the story later. It's not just told and forgotten about. It's very good. I actually almost suggest this comic book just for the couple of pages that Mad Stan appears. So, yeah. Make sure to read the book just for that part if you haven't read the book. Later they show Douglas and his dad having a confrontation, and his dad fires out the fact that he knows that Douglas has been with the Jokers again, and he assaults Dana's dad, cracks his skull open. Why isn't my first question is, why didn't they just turn him in when they knew he was back with the Jokers and off of his medication and save everybody a bunch of trouble? I mean, come on, let's use some logic here, people. I know Gotham people are mostly useless, but that was pretty useless. He runs away is the story they kind of give you, so they don't know where he is. But come on, really? No, I don't buy it. Bruce Wayne shows a small, refreshing amount of reform in his character throughout the entire book, and it's very, very good. The first part is giving GCPD some of the Wayne tech. Of course, keeping it under the Bat tech, because that's just, you can't ask too much from Bruce Wayne, but giving a small amount of Wayne tech to GCPD shows a step in the right direction. Showing that he doesn't really want it to be Batman all the time, that the GCPD should have a part. While he knows that some of them are still corrupt, like it was back in the day, he respects Barbara Gordon enough to know that she's reformed the GCPD enough, along with her father's help, that it's okay to trust them now. And that was cool. During the same scene where Bruce is talking with Terry about the GCPD whole thing, Lucius Fox Jr., who we all know as the current Batwing, appears, and so does Timothy Drake. It was cool to see characters come back, even though they had already been in the show before. It was cool to see that they've established this universe that they want to keep. Good. I like that. Terry does the bat appear, as I like to call it, on Bruce, and Bruce just compliments it. I like that. I like that part a lot. He turns around and Terry's not there, and he just goes, nice. Good moment. Max has a side story throughout this entire book, and it is useless. Useless. I don't care. Terry has kept his sense of humor from the show, which is definitely true. Terry spits out one-liners that are funnier than Bruce's, that are funnier than Richard's. He has that quick wit and the one-line humor that just, it's refreshing to hear. I like being able to laugh at a Batman title, and I laughed a couple of times just because Terry's funny. On the flip side, Terry's situational awareness and dexterous use of his suit really complements how natural the role of Batman came to him. I mean, I know we technically had that answered in the Justice League episode that finished off the series. I do believe it's called Epilogue. But, I mean, come on. Even without being a clone of Bruce, I think Terry's got what it takes to be his own Batman, and it came naturally to him, which is great. Awesome. Vigilante is a great character. I like that character a lot, and I think he's good for the Batman Beyond universe. But I don't know much about him. If you guys have read good Vigilante stories, please give me some links or something that I can read up on them, because I'd like to. I'd like to know more about Vigilante. Kind of giving you a spoiler here. Vigilante as a chill is kind of weak. Someone couldn't have just killed Terry's dad by some unknown assassin and we never know who it is, and I think I could have gotten the same effect out of Vigilante, no matter if he was a chill or not. But looking back at that, maybe a redemption of Joe Chill's name, because his name is also Joe Chill, would be refreshing. Maybe this Joe Chill could be the Chill that puts the grudge behind him and behind his family and Bruce, and Terry and Bruce. I mean, we're going to only have a boiling point, rather. I guess I can't talk today. Where Terry finds out that it is indeed this Vigilante that killed his father. And we're going to have a fight, and we're going to have an encounter. But is it within Terry to forgive Vigilante? And I think it is, and I think it's going to be an interesting story if it hasn't already been done. Letting Terry do a mission without Bruce is probably the single most important step taken during this entire book. Bruce ends up being sick. He gets his liver shutting down from too much pain meds, and he has to be in the hospital the entire time. This shows that Terry is his own independent Batman now. That's good. It needed to happen. Grayson makes an appearance in this book, and I'm going to spoil Hush Beyond for you because he is Hush in that book, and he continues to go by Hush throughout this entire thing. And I'm not going to give you all of Richard's backgrounds, but him working as a villain just kind of works from the way they set it up. And it worked. I don't know what other way to put it. It's good. It flows. I don't really know about much about Catwoman Beyond, but her crush on Richard was pretty entertaining the entire way through. Good comedic relief. Was Tim really needed in this story? I understand that he's coming back from Return of the Joker, and probably even more emotionally scarred than ever, but did they really need to bring him in? Couldn't they have gotten someone else? Max is kidnapped, that's why they Max, just to form me in. The drugs that they give the Jokers to start blowing themselves up and cause all this mass chaos that they've caused, they don't really give you any details. They say it's a hypnotic agent, but is it from the Spellbinder? Because if you bring the Spellbinder in, that would be pretty cool. But they just kind of like, they're hypnotic drugs. We put them in some stuff, in some misters, and that was it. That's the only detail we get about it. The Joker King's misanthropic motive is just an Owlman rehash, but that's not a bad thing. I I like characters that are villains that just fight because it's all worthless in the end, really. Why not just do whatever I want to do? And that's how the Joker King / Douglas operated. That being said, he goes and he's like, I need to go and one more person, and it's Dana. I Dana above everybody else. Like, I understand it's his sister, and he probably has a vendetta against her or something somewhere deep within his completely psychotic brain. But why? Why? They didn't expand upon it. Having Bruce do the whole Batman talk to myself during a fight was great. It's always great to see old Bruce in action. We always get that Batman, which is such a stark contrast to Terry's Batman, that it really shows how the Batman title has evolved over the last 50 years and into Batman Beyond. It's good. It's great. Also, it is great is the idea of the Jokers. That the Joker was able to speak to a few people merely by acting and being, rather than just being out of line and everybody thinking he's psychotic. Harley Quinn concept times 100, times a billion, times 1,000. You know what I mean? There's a great line in this book. A Joker, a Batman, a city in peril. One glorious final renewal of a great Gotham tradition is the line of the comic delivered by the Joker King. And it shows that the dance is never done. Never quite done. We got that from Return of the Joker, but it comes back in this. And then during the entire fight with the Joker King, Terry questions himself whether being Batman is the appropriate thing to do. He's like, I haven't thought about my brother or my mom or Dana or Max. What would happen to them if I died? It's no small secret that Terry's kind of a mix between like Richard and Bruce and elements of early development to mid-development Peter Parker all mashed up into one. So having the whole part where he's questioning himself is great, especially since he comes back with conviction and knowing that Batman is the right thing. Good idea. Richard is just sweet in the Beyond verse. Like, we've taken a fun-loving man and we've changed him, but we didn't change him too much that he's not Richard Grayson anymore. And then, towards the end, they're starting to try and wrap up Max's story, and man, I don't even care. I didn't care before, I don't care now. I'm not even curious to see how it ends, because it doesn't end in this book. It goes on to the lead-up of the next arc that they wrote out, and I don't care. I haven't even heard what it's named. In the end, there's a lot of lack of cleanup. In fact, I'll show you how the book ends, like the panel that the book ends. It's actually kind of a little bit annoying, because they literally leave you, excuse me for looking down here, off on, that's the wrong way, on Terry rescuing Dana, and Terry rescues Dana, Joker King gets knocked out. That's the end of the book. That's all we get. Sorry if you wanted more explanation. A little bit annoying. Doesn't bring me out of the book at all. Whatever. I'm thinking I'm on this, aren't I? Overall, the book was great. I already said that, but I'm going to say it again. If you're not into the Batman Beyond universe, pick up the book anyway. If you want to get to the Batman Beyond universe, of course, watch the series and Return of the Joker first. But if you just want to pick up a book and have a good time, I do believe that you could pick up Tales and Clowns and get a lot of what happened. There's a couple of references to Hush Beyond that I didn't understand. I already know that in the beginning. I'd like to know more about Hush Beyond, but I don't have the money to pick it up. That's all I really got to say about this book. If you want even more ranty nonsense, I gotta vote for you guys. Do you want me to do A, Hush, B, Kingdom Come, or C, the first volume of the New 52, or of not New 52? Let's do it again. A, Hush, B, Kingdom Come, C, first issue of 52. Leave your opinions, your voting opinions in the comments, and I will give it a week, and then I'm gonna do that review. Until next time, guys. See you later.